Hello, everyone. This is Bengie Molina, two-time World Series champs, and you're listening to Jim on Base.
Hey, it's Ryan from the Gym on Base Show, and I want to give a huge shout out to my friends at Claim to Fame. They have some of the best jackets out there that I love to wear. You can rock them for date night, a casual outing with friends, or even while doing a podcast. They're lightweight, they're durable, and perfect for any setting. My favorites are the dark blue, the olive shade, and if you want to switch things up and go for a lighter color, one of my favorite go-tos is the Pacific Blue. So check them out at claimtofame.com for all their different styles. The next time you step out, you'll be feeling good with Claim to Fame. Welcome back to another episode of the Gym on Base Show. For today's very special guest, we have on a World Series champion and two-time Gold Glove Award winner. He played 13 years in the big leagues and is currently broadcasting for the St. Louis Cardinals. Please welcome the great Bengie Molina. Bengie, thanks for coming on.
Oh man, it's a pleasure. Like I was telling you, it's a pleasure to be on here talking about it, about the area. First of all, I love the Bay Area, by the way. I love it. I love when I was there, my time with the Giants. I lived in downtown. I lived in the Marina and in Lafayette. And my daughter Jada was born in Walnut Creek,
Mm.
so we have ties over there.
Yeah, I'm in Danville. I don't know if you remember that. I'm not far from Walnut Creek.
Okay, okay, cool. I love that area, man. It's beautiful out there.
Yeah, so it's glad to reconnect with you. And you were running some errands today, right? I think you went to the bank. You were kind of getting things done.
Oh my gosh, we're trying to get a home. We're trying to get a
Mm.
house. Paperwork is crazy. I had to go to the bank for a bunch of statements, and they want to see your bank, obviously bank statement, but they want to see your transactions. They want to see, oh, you have to wire the money for the down payment
Mm.
on the house. So it was all like going crazy back and forth. But I'm good. I'm good now, man.
Well, yeah, where are you moving to, or where are you at right now in the country?
In St. Louis, well, it's called right now. I'm in Illinois. It's called Glen Carbon,
Okay,
Illinois.
nice. Well, does being an ex-big leaguer, you're always used to being on the road. It's kind of go, go, go during your career. But does it make it kind of hard to settle down when you retire? Do you want to kind of keep that pace up a little bit?
At the beginning, man, it's really rough. At the beginning, let me tell you, I couldn't stay still. I thought that I had to be at the stadium sometime. I thought I was missing a bus.
Mm.
It's in your mind, so you get so used to that. Your mind is just playing tricks on you, and but once you get used to, like maybe a couple of years, it take you a couple of years. Once you get used to, you're fine.
Mm.
After that, you're okay. But yeah, it's a really tough transition.
Yeah, it makes me wonder. I've had a few times where I'll wake up almost like a nightmare, and it's like, oh, I got to get to school, and it's like I'm not in school anymore. So is that kind of what happens?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Sometimes you wake up all sweaty. Okay, I'm gonna miss the bus. So we have a spring training game, and okay, no, no, and then you realize, man, you've been retired for 15 years. What are you talking about? So, so it really is. It really is a transition for a lot of people, and also when you're married or you have a girlfriend, and all of a sudden you're home 24/7. It's another transition that you have to get used to.
Mm.
Your kids, like when you're playing, it's mostly your wife or your girlfriend or whatever. But once you retire, it's both of you.
Mm.
So you have to go pick them up. You have to take them to school, the sports, and all that stuff. So it's really a thing, man. You have to really put your heart into it, and be able to change.
Mm.
That's what it is, a change.
Well, speaking of all that, you're still busy, right? I think you're with the Cardinals doing some spring training type coaching or training with them.
I we do what I'm doing is the Spanish radio. What we do is all home games, 81 home
Mm.
games in St. Louis. We do that. We don't go on the road.
Oh, okay.
Uh, we don't do the road yet. So the spring training, what we do is they take us over there and we do the first two games of the spring in Spanish. And then they send us back home and then we wait for the season to start.
Okay. So that's good. You get some balance. You're home, but then you're busy doing games. Just don't have to deal with the road.
You know what? It's one of the things that I probably love the most. It's that I'm a family guy.
Mm.
So I love that we're doing the home games. So when the homestands come in, we do what, 7 games, maybe 10 at times. And then the next week they go on the road. So we have a free week,
Mm.
of work. So being with the family, it's perfect. If you're a family guy, it's gonna be perfect for you. So we do home games, which you're still home, but when they go on the road, you have that week off.
Mm. Well, how'd you end up in St. Louis? Because obviously you didn't play for the Cardinals, so how'd that kind of work out?
I think Yadi, my brother, as you guys know, who was here for forever, was here for more than 20 years with the Cardinals. And when I was retired, I coached 2 years. I went to coaching with
Mm.
the Cardinals. One year we went to the World Series in 13, and then in 14 I went to Texas. After that, I took a year off, and Yadi was still playing.
Mm.
So when the lady saw that it could be me doing the Spanish with Polo Asensio, she called me and she said, "Hey man, you want to do the Spanish? We're about to open a Spanish radio for the first time ever in St. Louis. How about you doing your brother's team games?" And I said, "Wow, that's a dream come true. Heck yeah, count me in." So that's how it became about. I think Irwin,
Mm.
Higueros,
Yeah.
the ones who does the Spanish in San Francisco, kind of put the word for me too,
Mm.
to go to St. Louis, and they call me very nice. They say, "Hey man, we're gonna do the last 2 games in 2016, the last 2 home games in Spanish, and see how it goes." And then the next year we did 13, and then the next year we did like 20 some, and now the last after COVID, so in 21 was the first time we did 81 home
Mm.
games.
Yeah, was that something as a player, did that ever enter your mind, or was that something you never thought of that you could become a broadcaster one day?
I never thought about it until when I retired. Was this Harold Reynolds
Mm.
and from MLB Network? Kind of, they had me into the show because they wanted to do to see if I can be one of the guys. And he always push, and Greg, they both push me to be in it. But it happens to be that Jim Thome and Joe Girardi retired. So obviously, either me or those two guys, right? They're Hall of Fame, and another one is a really famous guy, so manager. So they took those two guys, and they
Mm.
said, "Man, we tried," but that's when I started thinking, "Man, the TV thing can go." But then I took it off my mind. I never thought about it anymore until that call, of course.
Gotcha. Well, the cool thing about being on the Cardinals is, as you know, it's similar color to your old team, the Angels. So, you already know you're going to look good in the red.
Yeah, that's right. Seriously, I love those colors. I think if I remember right, the '02 was the first time we were white and red.
Mm, okay.
We were that. I don't know if you
The
remember. You're
blue,
too
right?
you're too young. The wings,
Yeah. No, I
the
remember that.
wings. The Disney when Disney owned us, and then '02 we became the white and red, and we end up winning the championship. That's crazy.
Well, you kind of mentioned there a little bit about your family. So I'm always curious when I have people on, how'd you meet your wife and how long have you been married?
I just I have a fiance right now. We
Oh,
have
okay.
two kids. I had 3 kids with previous marriage, but I have two with my fiance Courtney, and that's who I've been for the past 5 years.
Oh, okay.
But before that, I had 3 girls. So one of them is Walnut Creek born. The other one in Puerto Rico was born, and the other
Mm.
one in Arizona.
Now, so do you have all girls or?
Oh, I have a boy. I
Oh,
have a
okay. Nice.
boy, 2.5 years old. He's here. I'm surprised he haven't come up yet. And a little girl, really a baby, like almost 5 months.
Well, so like I say sometimes, you're in full on dad mode. You're doing dad duty right now.
I think it's good for me. Really do think it's great because it keeps me moving around. It keeps me busy. Obviously, the older ones are, older, but these 2 kids, man, they keep you on your toes, and I love it, man. I'm a family guy. I'm not a guy that likes to be out there. If I could be at home every day, I would.
Mm,
and that's what I'm doing. So I do the home games, and whenever they go on the road, I'm home with my family. So it's good.
nice. Well, made me wonder then, are all three of you, because you have two brothers, I think all of you are involved in the game in some amount or capacity, right?
Yes, I'm doing the broadcasting. My brother Jose managing in Mexico in the
Oh, okay.
Mexican League, in their big leagues over there. And Yadi right now is not managing, but he's been busy. He's managed the Winter Ball a couple of years. He managed the Baseball Classic, and now he's busy with my nephew. He's
Mm.
in high school. He's a junior, so he's busy with him. Ariana playing volleyball and Danielle. So he's a family guy right now.
Nice. Well, that makes me wonder. It sounds like you have the perfect gig right now with broadcasting. So, would you want to get back into coaching, or it sounds like this right now gives you the perfect mix to be at home, but also still be with the team?
Yeah, the coaching was hard because I'm an old school guy, and when I kept seeing the young guys, sometimes they don't pay attention or they don't listen very good, and you get frustrated inside of you. Um, I don't think I will go back coaching. Maybe I don't. I can say never, but I don't think I would. I think I would love to try managing. Obviously, I want to manage a team, and I want to see what I can do with a group of guys and how far we can go. Right. So I would love to do that for sure.
Nice. Well, it made me wonder too. There's three Molina brothers, and as you know, playing with the Giants in your career, did you ever meet the Alou brothers?
Yes, I met two of them,
Mm.
Moises and the dad,
Oh, Felipe?
Felipe, yeah. Very very great people. I never met Mateo, Maria Lu, I never met him, but they were very nice family. They're very humble people.
And you probably played against Moises Alou, huh? I forgot about that.
Yeah, he gave me a lot of headaches, man. He's a great hitter, and it was if the pitcher did not have their A game against him, it was gonna be a long day with this kid, man. Because Moises can hit, in his sleep. So he took us for a ride a couple of times.
And anyone who doesn't wear batting gloves, they're tough.
They're very tough, or they're not very smart.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, he's a pure hitter, man. Tough, pure hitter.
Well, who are you away from baseball? Do you like to travel? Like, what kind of hobbies do you have?
Man, I have so many of them. Obviously, my hobby is being with my family, but that doesn't count as a hobby. I think I do fishing. I love
Mm.
going fishing. Oh man. Oh, I do. I like to draw,
Oh,
so
okay.
I do things with wood. I make some bracelets for the kids. I'm always doing something, man. Whenever my shop, it's about wood, like making some things in wood, crosses and stuff.
Oh, okay.
But that's what keeps me busy.
Well, it made me wonder, it's quite the journey, obviously, to come from a different country, from Puerto Rico to America. So, how did you come over to America first? Was it for baseball related, I imagine, or?
Yeah, it was back when I was playing amateur American Legion baseball. We made it to the World Series in Oregon.
Mm.
And then one of my friend of the family, his son was playing in Arizona Western College in Yuma, Arizona, which I didn't know where it was at that time, but he asked me if I wanted to go there. And for sure, I said yes. I want to. Of course, it's going to play baseball, but at the same time, I was going to take ESL classes
Mm.
just to learn the English. And I went, man, and it was great. It was great. 2 years learning English and playing ball.
Do you get homesick at all, or was it all fun, pretty much?
At the first couple weeks, I want to go back home. I wanted nothing to do with the school.
Mm.
I thought, well, first of all, I thought I was going to Florida. I ended up in Arizona. It's a funny story. If you haven't read my book, it's a funny story. But I can tell you, I loved it. My dad was very strong with me. He said, "Man, I don't know why you whining or crying about coming home. Wait until the baseball practice starts, and see what happened." And he was right on, man. Once
Mm.
the practice of baseball started, I didn't want to leave, man. I love the place. I played baseball there for a couple of years, but once that practice started, I was hooked on.
Mm. Well, you're the oldest of three brothers, right? So you were kind of like the trailblazer.
Well, I always felt that way.
Mm.
My dad, a couple times, he set me down because I was not, and this is for the kids out there that's going to listen to your podcast. I was never a good player until I was like 13, kind of 14 years old. So I was struggling, man. I wanted to be like my dad, and
Mm.
I was struggling. I couldn't hit, I couldn't do anything. So there was a couple of times that he set me down, and he said, "Man, you're the oldest of the family, and these two kids are right behind you. So even if nothing goes well for you, you kind of have to show the ropes, you know. You have to be the one. You have to be the guy they follow. So be careful what you do. Be careful how you train. Be careful if you don't train or what you do at school." And I took it serious.
Hmm.
I took it serious. I said, you know what? I'm gonna I'm gonna work. I'm gonna make it work somehow. And thankfully, I made it. I always had my motivation was my family. My motivation was never money, cars,
Mm.
houses, material stuff. My motivation was always I need to get my mom and dad a house. I need to get my mom and dad a new car. My brothers, if they don't make it, I gotta take care of them.
Hmm.
So it was always a family motivation. So that made it easy for me to be the guy to follow.
Well, when you're doing all that, it made me wonder. We didn't have social media then, or even like texting and stuff. So would they kind of gather around the phone? You'd call home, or how did that kind of work to give updates?
Um, a large bill, man. It was a collect call. Remember those? I don't know if
Yeah,
you ever heard of those, but
little phone booth.
phone booth, and you say, "Hey, collect call from Benjamin Molina," and you have to say yes on the other side. So that's how I communicate back to my parents.
Well, you obviously did it the right way because it's kind of cool that all three brothers, you all have your own World Series ring, right? So I imagine you're pretty competitive.
Um, we were very nice to each other. Competitive, maybe playing a Nintendo or playing Sega or playing those video games, maybe competitive. But in the field was more of I gotta help him. I gotta help him. I gotta do something to make them better somehow. Um, if they're better than me, I don't care. You know what I mean? One of those.
Hmm. Yeah.
So on the field, we weren't competitive against each other. It was more competing against whoever we were facing. So, but it was cool to see the development on Jose, the development on Yadi through the years, man. They were studs. I mean, I couldn't play until 13, I think, uh, something like that, but they were studs from 5 years old to like whenever they got drafted. They were fourth batter in their team. They were playing third. They were playing catcher. They were pitching. They were the star of their team, and they won a lot of Puerto Rican
Mm.
championships.
Oh, okay.
And they went to United States and play for the World Series under their age level, and they were studs, man. But for me, it was a little different.
Well, it's pretty funny too, because your dad, obviously, he was a great second baseman, right? He's in the Puerto Rican Baseball Hall of Fame. And I know you didn't necessarily start out as a catcher, but it's kind of interesting that he pumped out three catchers, right?
It's pretty. I didn't catch until 17. Actually, when I 16, when I went to college, I was a shortstop and a pitcher,
Hmm.
and I play outfield too. Never caught until that tryout that I got with the Angels. That my brother was there, and they wanted to see a free agent, and that was the day that I got a catcher's glove when I was 16 or 17, and took me out to rookie ball, and then that's when I became a catcher. But my brothers, they've been always catchers since 4 years old. So it's a little
Okay.
different.
Well, eventually you get to the big leagues, so I'm always curious what guys' memories are of their debut. Yours was September 21st, 1998 against Texas. So what do you kind of
Mhm.
remember about that? What went into it for you?
Um, Actually, I think it was against Oakland.
Mm.
Uh, well, Texas because that's why I got called up, but I never saw a game. So Terry Collins never put me in the game.
Mm.
So later on that year, I got called up again for 15 days. Our last road trip was Oakland, and finally, the last at bat of the catcher that we had, and in the season, because that was the last game.
Mm.
And finally they put me in. So I was in the bullpen. I dropped every gear I had on while I was running to get my batting gloves and bat and helmet because he didn't want to put me in. Terry didn't want to put me in. He was the guys that said, "Oh, I'm not hitting. Put the rookie." And then the other catcher's like, "Nope, I'm not hitting. Put the rookie, man. Come on." And he goes, "No, no, I want you. No, put the rookie." So they put me in. So I run out there. I was I was out of breath when I got to the. You know how Oakland is in the bullpen.
Yeah.
It's really far. So when I got to the plate, I was like breathing hard, and the umpire's like, "Are you okay, man? Are you okay?" I was like, "No, man, this is exciting. It's my first at bat." So I worked the count against. Oh my gosh, I can see him, but I can remember his name, and I faced him in the winter leagues.
Mm.
So it made it a little easier because I seen him in the winter league, and I forgot his name, but he's a lefty. So I got the count to good count for me, and I hit a rocket to between short and third, but Eric Chavez
Oh yeah.
is there, so he dove and cut the ball, threw me out at first, and that would have been my first, like first at bat, and that would have been a base hit, but it was an out, and then I caught the last two innings, and we won that game. That was my debut. I remember it very clearly. It took me by surprise. I wasn't even expecting to play because I had opportunities to play, but this guy didn't want to
Mm.
somehow put me in. So, but I remember, man, it was crazy. I cried at the end of the game because Darren Erstad came to me and said, "Hey, man, now nobody can take that away from you. You're a big leaguer now. You have one at bat in the big leagues. Keep going, keep working hard in the winter. We'll see you in spring." So it made me realize how much hard work.
Well, yeah, it's a great memory there, and it made me wonder too. Must have been some special memories being able to play with your brother and be teammates with Jose.
Let me tell you, there was nothing more special than that. You grow up with this kid, and he was always behind me. He was always following me, doing whatever I did. It was super special. It was whenever Bill Stoneman called me and said, "Hey man, we're gonna sign your brother. Are you okay with that?" And I'm like, "Hell yeah, I'm okay." "Oh, we want you to know that it's for a backup position. You're our guy." And I say, "Hey Bill, let him earn it. If he earns better than me, then he's number one. I'll be the two." So but since that day I called him up, he called me, we cried together.
Mm.
And then to play with him in the same team and for 4 or 5 years or so, and it was amazing, man. We went to eat together after the game. We went. I took him to his house. I took him under my wing, and he helped me. He helped me a lot with the pitchers because he was in AAA before coming up,
Mm.
and those young guys that we had in the Angels, he caught them. So it made it easy for me a lot of times too. So and then winning the championship with him on my side, I don't think there was a moment that can touch that moment for me in baseball. Obviously, winning the World Series, but winning it with your brother. In 2013, I coached for the Cardinals. We went to the World Series with Yadi, and we almost won it. We were 2 games away from Boston, and that would have been special too.
Yeah.
That would have been super special coaching my little brother, which nobody knows. But when I was 15, he was 5, and he was playing 5. We call it Pampers, that league, the 5-6, and he was playing, and I was the coach for that league, and we won 2 years in a row the Puerto Rican championship. And Yadi was our stud, fourth batter, home runs everywhere. So imagine winning the World Series
Yeah.
with him too. So it was, but Jose, being with Jose was super special.
Well, it made me wonder too. Speaking of some notable managers you've played under, I won a contest in spring training, or not even a contest. I was just trying to get autographs as a kid at spring training, and it was A's versus the Angels. And actually, now that I think about it, you were on the team. I was trying to get autographs, and one of the equipment guys was like looking at, like watching me try and get autographs, and he came up to me and said, "Hey, do you want to be the bat boy for the game?" And
Oh, wow.
yeah, I couldn't believe it. This was 2002. So he took me in. I got to mix the pine tar, and I got to sit on the bench and do bat boy stuff. And Mike Sosha was the manager of that game.
Yes.
And I just remember I was a big fan, but I was super nervous and scared because he was cussing up a storm. I had never seen that before. But
he was one of my angels, man.
mm,
One of my real angels. That when I got to 2000, that's when he started. He took me in and he saw what I had and he came in and he said, "Hey, man, listen. Um, let me tell you this. You are the anchor of this pitching stuff. I don't want anybody else. I want you. So you made the team. I want you to relax and just be available for every pitcher. Learn them what they do." So he gave me the opportunity to be a starting catcher. Obviously, I took it, right? I took it and run with it. I had to do what I had to do. But if it wasn't for him, maybe I never get my shot. So
mm,
him, and then we had a bench coach named Joe Madden, which is a great mind and great friend. We have Bill Latchman.
mm.
We have Orlando Mercado, who took care of us in catching. So it was amazing. I want to tell you this, man. I've been blessed in my career, and these guys, when I got to the big leagues, this guy took care of me. So
Nice.
they're cool.
Well, speaking of some of the great memorabilia and awards you've had through your career, World Series rings, Gold Gloves, and I know you're in the middle of moving, but do you normally have like a man cave or do you put it on display or how does that kind of work?
I haven't put them away. If you see, this is my office. Let me
Oh,
show you
okay.
something. You see that?
Oh, nice. There it is. One of them.
Yeah. So I have some old school stuff
Nice.
that and pictures and all that I have to put up into the office, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't been able to because we just got in like a couple months ago. It was
Okay.
not even too long ago. So, but this office, next time we do a podcast again, uh, or maybe I can take a picture when I have it all done, and then you can see where the office is right now.
Yeah, to be decked out.
I'm telling you, I have so many bobbleheads. I have the Willie McCovey Awards, which is it means the world to me. Those awards, and when I won it in San Francisco, not only because it's Willie McCovey, but what it meant, what I meant to the team,
Yeah.
because the team was the one who vote, and the players and the coaches, they thought that I was the guy that back then, so that meant the world to me. So though you'll see him up on the wall somewhere.
And it must be surreal too to win that award when you won it in '07 and '08 because Willie McCovey, rest in peace, he was still around, right? So,
Yeah, he was still around. I'm telling you, he took care of me. He was talking to me. I remember Walnut Creek had a restaurant
oh yeah.
that he owned, and I used to go there all the time. And it was funny because the entryway, I don't know if you remember, the entryway was a home plate, first base, second base, third base. So I did the round, walk around, then I slide into home, and people thought it was the funniest thing. So, but I remember that I always got the fried Louisiana fried chicken or something. Very very good. And so he took care of me. He was such a gentleman as a
Mm.
I said, man, it was great.
Well, one thing I wanted to mention, I thought it was awesome. I was at the game, was it 2, 3 years ago now, when Buster Posey had his retirement ceremony, and you were there and you got your Buster hug.
I keep seeing this on TV, and I say, man, he was sitting right next to me when we were discussing the lineups, and he was asking so many questions, and he was a great student, man. I was on my way out, obviously, and that was my last year too, and he was on the way in, and look at the run that he had. So this Hall of Famer, I'm like, man, uh, I got invited to it
Mm.
to the thing, and I said, man, everybody gets a hug, man. These guys have won 3 championships. And I say, "Hey, Buster, I just want a hug from you, bro. You know, let me see how it feels. Everybody's talking about your hug." And he goes, "Come here, bro. Come here." So it was pretty funny.
And that must have been pretty ironic too, like you said, to be traded, and then little did everyone know, then you're meeting the Giants that same year for the World Series. So it's kind of ironic how it all worked out.
It was ironic, Ryan, but it was also weird
Mm.
because you don't know how to pitch to your guys. You've seen him raking, you see him playing ball, you see him good team, but you don't pay attention how to pitch to Buster
Uh,
or Pablo or whoever it was back then. You don't pay attention to that, you know. You don't
hmm
know how to pitch, so everybody came to me and said, how do you pitch to this guy?" So, well, let's go watch some video because I have no idea exactly how to do it. So here we go. It was weird. It was very weird.
Well, I wanted to talk about some notable teammates too. I was just curious, who was one of the hardest throwing pitchers that you caught? Because another guy that scared the crap out of me when I was on the bench doing bat boy stuff was Troy Percival, and he could cuss
Yeah.
up a storm, and as you know, he was a flamethrower.
Yeah, he's one of my best dudes, man. He's one of my best friends right now, and he's always talking to me, texting
Mm.
me, and he's a really good dude. Since I got to the big league, he took care of me. He knew I was a young guy. He's a young veteran at that time, and he took care of me. He told everybody, "Hey, man, don't mess around with this dude. This is my guy. Don't mess around with him. He's always into the game. Leave
Mm.
him alone." You know, things like that. So
Yeah.
we're always and his skills is amazing. He is a former catcher.
Oh, I
So
didn't. Okay.
yeah, a former catcher that threw hard, couldn't hit, and they made him into a pitcher. And look at the career he had, man. Now he's coaching for independent league.
Hmm.
So he's for me, he's one of my best dudes, man.
And another hard thrower that pops in my mind was Francisco Rodriguez. I think they called him K-Rod, right?
Yeah, Cairo was amazing. 19 years old. That ball, 100 miles an hour, cutting. On he wasn't even trying to cut it. It was just the way he grabbed the
Hmm.
ball that he cut. So I mean, he was unreal, unhittable on those years. And plus, I think he should be in the Hall of Fame.
Hmm.
I think he's like the fifth most saves or fourth most saves or
Oh yeah.
something, all time or third. It could be third. And he needs to be in the Hall of Fame, I think, right, for what
Hmm.
he did. So, but he was amazing. That guy was unhittable, you know, for a period of time, long period of time. So, but he was crazy, man. Too young.
Yeah. Well, since I'm in the Bay Area and the Giants were my team, just curious, how did you get to the Giants? Because I know you came in '07, and I think that was Bochy's first year as a manager too. So was that
Hmm.
kind of a deciding factor, a guy that could handle the staff well from a coaching perspective?
You know what? I ended up in Toronto
Mm.
because my agents messed up that deal with the Mets
Oh, okay.
in '06, in '05. I'm sorry.
Because you wanted a longer
So
deal, huh?
yeah, so nobody somehow the Mets offered 3 years, 21, and I would have said yes, and I did. But the my agent wanted
Mm.
one more year, and so the deal fell off, and the Mets got Paulo Duca. Um, so since then I fired my agent, so I got an agent that was had a great relationship with SFX, has a great relationship with the Giants. And he called right away. Hey, you guys don't have a catcher right now. Martinez going out with concussions, and
Mm.
so they went and signed 3 years. I ended up being there for 3.5 years, I think, and it was great years, man. I had my best hitting years, my best
Yeah.
catching year, catching Lincecum and two Cy Youngs in a row, and then Mike Cain being a young guy throwing fire. Jonathan Sanchez when he threw the
Yeah.
no hitter too, and I mean there were some young guys. I mean coming up, and then I had the veterans at the beginning too. So, but having Bochy there made my decision easier to go there. Bochy, wow, I can't even begin to tell you about Bochy, man. He's a maestro. He's a teacher. He's a great human being and always very positive. So he fit in right in with those kids, man. And look at let's not say anymore. Five
Yeah.
championships and or four or something like that, and he's going to be in the Hall of Fame soon. So
Yeah.
One of my angels too.
And I imagine too when you hit a ball in the gap and you have Tim Flannery screaming at you at third base, it kind of motivates you to get there, right?
Oh yeah, Timmy, man. Flan is a character, man. I love Flan. He was always so positive. He was always trying to push us to be our best. And you can see he knew that they had the right guys for the championships, and they took him, man. They took him by the neck, and they said, "Hey, let's go. We got it." Where Flan is a big part. Ron Waters,
Mm,
big part of those championships, and people don't even talk about him.
yeah.
Uh, Even Roberto Kelly, you know, all
First
those
base
guys.
coach.
Yeah, and then they had Gardner,
Mm.
and they had Righetti as a pitching coach, and nobody talks about him. And they were the freaking top, dude. I would say that they were the head of them. They were the top. They were the ones who guide all those young guys. Very smart coaching.
Well, you mentioned Jonathan Sanchez there, and I was wondering, does it kind of piss you off when I think you had an off night, and that's the night he has the no hitter?
Oh no, my daughter was being born,
Oh, okay. Never
so
mind.
I
It's a good
was
thing then.
yeah, yeah. So I was gonna be in the lineup, and then all of a sudden I had a call that I got to go to the hospital.
Got to get to Walnut
Uh,
Creek.
yeah, yeah. So I got there and I'm watching the game from the room, and I'm like, oh no. So it was good. I was happy for them, and Eli Whiteside, which is a great kid, man, too. So I was happy for them both.
Old man Whiteside.
The old man Whiteside, seriously. Yeah, he's still there, right?
Yeah, I think he's still in the organization, maybe in the minors. I haven't seen him in a while though. I think he's in the lower levels.
Yeah, okay. So he's
Yeah.
he's a very smart kid too.
Well, I did have to touch on Tim Lincecum. He was one of my favorite guys to watch, and he almost has like that Steph Curry aspect where people feel like they can relate to him because he looks like a normal guy. And what was it like, when he gets two Cy Youngs like that? I imagine you take a lot of pride in that being his catcher.
Yeah, me and my brother always talk about, even Yadi too, talk about taking care of the people. So we were always trying to make sure that the pitcher were taken care of. So catching Cy Youngs is
Hmm.
wow. My guy Roy Halladay, I caught Cliff Lee, Bartolo Colon won
Wow.
a Cy Young, then two with Lincecum. Man, I mean these guys, we take pride of them. I mean Hosey caught Mike Messina,
Hmm.
Cy Young. He caught all these guys Cy Young, and Yadi caught all these great pitchers. So I mean, we really took pride on that.
One of my final things I wanted to ask about, it must have been pretty surreal for you growing up a baseball fan, and then you come to the Giants and you get to catch Randy Johnson's 300th win, right?
Yeah, that was very special for me. I faced Randy many times, and I had very good success. So when he got into the Giants, he goes, "Hey, don't get too happy. You're not gonna hit against me. You're catching me now." And so, but he was at the end. Obviously, everybody knows that he was not the same as before. But he wanted to reach 300. He wanted to reach 300, and one of the things that he told Bochy, it's like he wanted me to catch. So when we did that in the Nationals, ballpark, it was it was super crazy that it was rainy. It was a rain delay. And all of a sudden we came back. We had to wait all that long night, and so by the time we end up winning the uh, the game, man, it was crazy. So he was so happy, and I caught him in Japan in 2000. We went to the Japan series, the MLB against Japan, and
Ah.
they used to do that. And I went. He was one of our pitchers, so he was a nice guy, man. He intimidates you, but once you start talking to him, I was like, dang, I wish I would have known this when I was facing him. He's a nice guy.
And now I guess he's like a big rock and roll photographer. I hear he's at shows snapping away, so it's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. That's his hobby.
Yeah.
That's what he wanted to do, go to Africa and take pictures and, everywhere he can. So I'm happy for him too.
When you got to play with guys like Randy Johnson, any big names like that, were you ever like an autograph guy or like kind of keep a collection going for when you're retired from the game or?
You know what? I wish I did it more. I always felt like I was bugging the guys.
Mm.
I always felt like I was, if I ask, I was bugging. I was the shy type of guy.
Yeah.
But I wish that I did it more. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because now I can do it now a little bit because I'm doing the broadcasting. So I see the guys coming into the batting practice and things like that. So I could do a little more now.
Mm-hmm.
But I wish I did it. I played with Barry Bonds.
Yeah.
I played with Tim Lincecum that had two Cy Youngs. And then I played with my other teammates. Guys in the Angels, and we won the World Series. But I never thought of it. I always thought that I was bugging them, so I never actually reach out.
Gotcha.
I wish I did though.
Well, Bengie, I got to say, it's been great to have you on. I know you're a busy guy, so thanks for giving me some time. And one last question. What else is on the agenda today? Is it all house kind of stuff, or what else are you up to?
I have to sign up some papers in the afternoon for the house finally to be ours.
Okay.
So that's the only thing coming up right now. Hey, those guys out there in the Bay Area, and your fans and the Giants fan, I just want them to know that I respect them, and my years over there were really, really cool. I love the people inside Larry Bear, and all those guys treated me with so much respect, and Papa Murph, the
Yeah.
clubhouse. So all those guys were very, very, very good to me. So, and
Oh,
Berta
yeah.
Fajardo, she was always very nice to me and Aaron and Aaron and Berta. They were so very nice. So I just wanted to say hi to them and to the Giants Nation. Here comes baseball, which you have a tough division,
Yeah.
but you have a good team.
Well, I'll make sure that they get all the shout outs. And I've never been to the Cardinal Stadium yet. So when I do get out there, I'll send you a message. So hopefully I could say hello.
Oh, heck yeah, it's a very friendly stadium, very nice. It has a lot to do around the stadium before the game, after the game. You
Okay.
will love it. You will love it.
Awesome. Well, Bengie, thanks for coming on the show, and I'll see you down the line.
You got it, Ryan. Thank you so much.